Physicality of this film, Una Lawrence. Rachel McAdams. Himself, Gyllenhaal. Somewhere in Africa, I think I was 50, so it's only appropriate that I can you know, Antoine loves actors, and so he shared with me a lot of things that they were shooting, and he shared with me a lot of the processing that he took me while we were shooting the movie, so I had the opportunity to sort of see the character and how he saw the character, and then we honed in on the character over time. So when I saw the final version of the film, and I saw subsequent versions of the film before that, but when I saw the final version and really what Antoine was trying to say through Billy and all the work that John Ryder had done and Amara with him and all that, I mean, I consider a character the work of not just the actor, but of all the departments around the actor. When I saw that, I couldn't be. I was really proud of everything we did. I mean, I would hide in the shadows all the time, and Mara would always get upset with me. So I would always trying to find the shadows. But somehow, it's strange. You spend so much time with everybody, and you're also intimate, and you're doing this thing, and then it becomes something else. So it's a little uncomfortable, but I like it.
we had a conversation today for Ryan and English, and we told something interesting, which was very much about how working your shoulders was imperative to being convincing as a fighter. Can you tell the audience what you were talking to me about?
Well, like popping shoulders is the sort of a thing that I feel like fighters do all the time because it's punches don't come from your arms, they come from the other parts of your legs and from your core. So essentially, the extension of your arm has to be. I can't do it in the suit. But Antoine, when I first met Antoine, he said, are you ready to do this? I really want you to know how to fight, and I'm going to be shooting like an HBO Showtime fight, and the fights are going to be real, so, I don't want you to start popping your shoulders, start popping your shoulders at dinner. And I was like, okay. And I was going to do a workout for me. And about 3 months into the process, my stomach loosened up, and my shoulders started popping, and I was like, it was like this transformation at the beginning. And that was where I started to feel like I could actually throw a punch.
Rachel, we're in a strange predicament right now because we're in a room full of people who have just seen the entire film, and yet this is being filmed for people who are going to watch it who have not seen the movie. So we have to be a little bit delicate here. But what happens to your character is very shocking. Stubs her toe. But I'm curious to know for you, were you pitched what happens, what the storyline of your character was, or did you get the script and were paging through it and learned what happens to her?
I just read it and it was just a shock in my living room. So yeah, it was I wasn't totally thinking about it, which is the way I prefer it. You want to just take the ride. But it was a good challenge.
What excited you the most about the relationship between your two characters, or really all three of you?
Yeah, what's it just? What excited you the most?
It was just as exciting. I just loved the commitment they had to each other. Growing up together, and it was a weirdly codependent relationship, but kind of in the best way. And I just love the fierceness of their love, and they're incredibly passionate. I think they kind of get off on the box, and I think there's something so really primal and hot about that, and weird. But at the same time, I think Maureen's kind of grown up a little bit, and Billy's out for each other. So I don't know. There's so many interesting dynamics to play out. There's really no end to the moments we can mine out. It's really rich.
And as an audience member, you see the relationship and you see how damaged she is, and you think, as anyone would, just do this or this, and you can fix it, and you can make it better. But the movie shows you that it's just not anywhere near that easy.
I was just saying, there's this beautiful moment where Miguel says what he says before that scene where she stubs her toe. And you see the history of a relationship in an instant. And it's all defined by her. It's all defined by the work that she spent. She has no books and no pads. She writes tons of notes. She literally intimidating.
They were like, let me see your notepad.
I just wanted to know what she thought. Or his asshole. No, but the history of their relationship is in that moment. You know, she was like, no, I've seen this too many times. No, and then what happens. But that is an amazing moment to see as an audience to watch her do that. You know.
And also that when that happened and Billy, Jake turns around, you see the intensity in his eyes, and I could tell the amount of love that he had for Rachel and for Maureen, for the character, and it was something that I was scared, man.
Parents, I think I immediately fell into that role, and just like really long sessions with Antoine and stuff, that helped a lot, and he gave me more information on
Jake has been starting to dabble a little bit in theater acting on Broadway. You have a Tony Award. We should tell people a special Tony from New York and Matilda. Do you want to give him any advice?
It takes an audience really exciting. I asked her if I said this the other day. She's like, I'm really busy working. I'd love to know that.
I think just try to remember your lines.
Oh my God.
Seriously, though, you told me to say that you really followed Luna's lead and you let her guide you in a lot of ways in your scenes together.
Well, she memorized both her lines, and sometimes I was like, yeah, a lot of people have asked me, particularly today, I'm not a father, so how did we develop that relationship? And I think that there are a number of things involved in that, which is that I would, number one, like you said, that I would do anything for a child, no matter what. Whether I know them or they're part of my family, doesn't matter. So that love sort of immediate. When she walks in the room, she just is who she is, and she's just pretty extraordinary. And then when you work with her, when I first read with her, we're sitting much like we were sitting now, and we started improv, and we were talking about the dolls in your room. I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember this? So we were talking about the dolls in your room, right? It was the scene where you're counting all the scene in your bedroom. We just started improv, and we were like, there's this is Jane, and this is John. Oh, John, okay. And this is Jane. Okay, don't mind John's long hair. And then I was like, who is this girl? I mean, there was a world that appeared that she had created. It was creating even in the moment, and I just thought, I just need to follow her. And then I realized, well, that's exactly what happens with the parent and child. And so that's what I did through most of it. She set the tone, the scene at the grave after Maureen stubs her toe. After that, at the grade, you know, Antoine said, I'm setting up 2 cameras and I want you guys to walk up and I want to see what happens. And there was a scene obviously that was written there that we moved into, but that was all Una talking. You know, she started talking to her mother and she started saying these things and that was all her, you know. So I just followed her lead. And I think that was what the scene was about. She wasn't supposed to follow mine. She asked to go as Layla to see her mother. And that's how it went. And that's very much the movie, you know. It's all about her and she's this beautiful actress and she deserves more Tonys.
We're in a room full of actors here. You have many family members who are actors. Your sisters are, your dad is, am I understanding?
Yeah.
Do you think that's played a big role in your interest and your ability in acting?
Definitely. I mean, my dad is like my inspiration because he's done like theater and he's done movies and he just has like this experience and he always helps me. He always like memorizes lines with me. He always, you know, is always there to give me tips on how I should do this, how I should say that, and it's really, really helpful. And also having like my sisters there and stuff, sometimes they'll help me with my lines, which is really fun.
Rachel, can you talk about what kind of rehearsal time you had? So, as I understand it, it was like a 40-day shoot. Did you have much rehearsal time before that?
Yeah, we did. Which is rare nowadays. So Antoine was really, adamant about carving that out, which I'm so grateful for. And the three of us got lots of time to hang out, to, in a relaxed way, to ease our way into it. We got a lot of time to talk about our backstory. We went to a facility together where, we kind of imagined Billy and Maureen had maybe met, or the type of facility they would have grown up in. So, and we got to not box each other, but I'd watch you and you'd watch me. Mostly I was watching you, but
say that louder.
I just said I was watching her more than she was watching me, probably. It's not these young guys, so you kind of
yeah, so we kind of had like this little mini movie before we started the movie, which we felt very real, and we didn't have to do pretending by the time we got there.
When I saw the movie a couple weeks ago, the opening credits were going, and I saw music composed by James Warner. He had passed away the day before the screening that I saw. It was very touching at that time, and I paid extra special attention to his music, and I thought it was really powerful. Can you guys talk about what you think his work adds to the film?
I'll say that sometimes I listen to scores, as a emotionally, moving through scene. And one of the scores that I use often and have, and that moves me so much, is the score of Precision Bobby Fischer. And many of his scores, I think in this score in particular, there are even some hints of it. Every time I hear that, like, pieces of history, it moves me so much. Like, he had an extraordinary career. I actually never met him, but I feel like I know him from his music. And it was an honor when I heard Antoine that he was going to score this movie. And, he did it for really no money, and he did it out of his love for Antoine and their relationship, and also for this movie, and you can feel that. And I just, as whenever we lose anybody too early, I'm just heartbroken that we won't be able to hear
stronger work sometimes. Yeah.
Here's a question.
I mean, well, first of all, really honestly, I think the pace at which you work is really important. And I think that, you know, the energy that's happening in the scene, or the energy that's happening in a movie, you know, I like it when a budget in a movie is small, when people are pushed, you have to run and gun, you have to move in a way. And it means you have to stay with your character, it means you have to focus, it means you have to be prepared, and it means you don't have time for everything else but what's at hand. And that thing in hand, you're just desperately trying to get. And so, you know, I think a slower pace is necessary in certain contexts, but I'd like to try and never stop in a way. If Antoine, think of Antoine, was like when we worked, there were these moments where if we had a free moment, we were just trying to go get something else. You know, there was never any like, we're just gonna sit here and stay. We were just always trying to grab something. So even if you roll tapes for a long time, even if, you know, we're setting something up, I would go do something else. I get in the ring, I shower box to do something. We do a scene 59, I ran downstairs, and I remember we shot a scene where Billy goes to the table, and that had been a scene that was written that we were told that we weren't going to be able to shoot because we didn't have the money for the budget for that extra scene time. And Antoine and I were like, fuck it, let's just go shoot. If we were ready, and he was always ready. I'm serious, like, I mean, he jokes and all that stuff. He is incredibly dedicated, and he's incredibly humble, and there's no reason for him to be really. and he is, and so we ran down, we got that, you know, there wasn't time to eat, you know what I mean? There wasn't time to think about it. He decided what will service the story, what do we need when he's in the editing room and he's going, shit, why do we have that scene? And we shot that scene in 7 minutes. It was literally the day we were running at the time, and it was just like, we're done with this, are we in today? Can I go to the table? Yeah. And we threw crew members in the back, they were the pretend photographer. I mean, seriously, that was how we made this movie.